Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God. It is
Hey,
Friday, May 1st, first of the
yeah.
month.
Wake up, wake up, wake
Gotta
up.
wake up. Let's get it fired up.
Start the show.
First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. Once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. A fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Happening right now. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God.
Hey.
Thanks to everybody who's getting up early with us this morning so that we can have this conversation. It is May the 1st. You know what that means around here? Rent's due.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey,
Yeah.
we made it through the month. So it's getting closer to summer. Lots of things going down. This is a Love Supreme Friday, so it'll be extensive haps happening today. And of course, if you have any haps, put them in the chat, put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page as well. And we'll get into it. So let's go ahead and fire it up this morning. Trying to feel good on a Friday. How you doing over there, buddy?
Man, could have used a couple more winks, a little tired, boss. I think kind of accumulation of the week catching up to me by this point. But yeah. Overall feeling good. Definitely looking forward to a Love Supreme Friday. Sister Amanda Kephart, as you've seen on your screen.
Yeah. Always a
Film
pleasure.
streams coming through. Yeah, always looking forward to those conversations, seeing what they have set up for the month of May.
Word.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
also want to talk to them about what they just showed with the no knock, no warrant film that just happened.
Man.
Mere lock. Yeah.
Yeah. Would definitely love to hear, the take from the folks who helped put it on.
Shout out to Film Streams, third space around here for real.
Man, we need it. But other than that, yeah, man, finalizing plans for this summer. Again, as I mentioned, I'll be making my way to Omaha to, chill with the chat chimers a little bit, touch the people. Of course, we have a couple other things going on. Still have content creators camp coming up. So if you're still interested in that and you haven't reached out, yeah. Hey, it's coming to a close here pretty quick. So definitely reach out, tap in if you want to check in with that. But yeah, other than that, man, feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Feeling a little better. I've been under the weather all week
Yeah.
long. So finally getting on the upswing. Still got it in my chest. Got a little cough going on, but I cleared it out enough to be able to have a conversation today. So that's all all that
Good.
matters.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys sticking with us all through the week. This is a Good Friday. Pop says Good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. I
Hey.
think it's going to be a pretty good Friday. I appreciate that. Sean McCarthy says morning First Sky team and chimers. That's what's up. Appreciate that. RG in the chat saying morning y'all. He said who wants to take my trash and recyclables out to the street?
Feeling that leg day, huh? Can't move.
Yeah. Leia Keys is in the chat with the Friday yippee skippies, buddy. I think it's your turn, is it? Or is it my
Is it?
turn?
Is it?
My turn?
I think it's your turn.
My turn. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Happy Fry yip yippee yay yo yip yo yippee yo.
Yeah, I think you did it.
All right. Okay. Somebody got some
Yeah,
sleep last night.
y'all see that on your screen. You try that.
Yeah, it does. It get your brain going for sure.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
gets the brain going.
Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you getting up. Marlon Harrison says, good morning, First Sky family, and happy TGIF, everyone. It's a new month, which means new opportunities, new blessings, and hopefully warmer weather.
Hey, okay.
I like the upbeat attitude. Right now, it means I got to pay the rent, but I like the rest of it too, for sure. Appreciate it. Also, Pop says, Buddy's screen looks washed out. It looked like he's in San Francisco fog. Yeah, he had a little foggy screen going on this morning. So
Let me see. Maybe try to wipe my lens. I told you I was tired though. Just about as foggy as the brain.
He's representing his brain status right now. Fog brain. Judy Prinzer gives us a morning, First Sky family. Good morning to you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got to. Buddy, he says, RG says, I still got leg day on Saturday.
See?
It's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, appreciate you guys, man. And let us know what's going on this weekend. We always talk about Love Supreme Friday, what's happening, live alive with one another, do fun stuff, do your art, go see some art, all the things that there is to do on the weekend if you have the weekend off. If you're privileged enough to have weekends off, or if not, in the evenings, whenever, just spend time with
Yeah.
each other and We talk about all this messed up stuff all week long, and we say, what are we doing all this fighting for? Well, we do it so we can live our life, have fun, engage in art, live life with one
Man,
another, all that stuff. And
go
that's what we're
outside,
here
touch
to
some
do.
grass.
Outside, touch some grass, do that. The weather is getting better. I will say it is First Friday, so of course we know that there's a lot of First Friday things going on. As a matter of fact, I'll jump into some of them. Our friends over at BFF. Speaking of
E.
going to seeing some art, look at all this stuff they got laid out, man. BFF really does it. Openings and events happening on Friday tonight. Get out there, get busy. Here's some information here. We'll put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha for you to go check out. But they lay it out, and there's a lot going on in Benson. Is like we like to say around here. Benson is North Omaha.
Man, I
Definitely.
can't really see. Is the film festival still going on? Is that
No, Film Festival's done. Film Festival's done is one of the
okay?
most
Okay.
successful ones they've had thus far too. So shout out to the Benson Film Festival guys for putting that on. Shout out to Benson Theater for hosting that. Yeah, awesome stuff. But there is some more things to do this weekend on this First Friday. So definitely go check that out. Also in North Omaha, there's a First Friday happening over at the Dreamland. As a matter of fact, they're having their grand opening this weekend. Last night they had a talk from Preston Love about the legacy of the Dreamland Ballroom and how that's associated with Katie Rain's Dreamland Lounge and the reason why she named it that in the whole nine. So he went and told some history, really interesting stuff. We got some stuff coming up, as a matter of fact, with some information about the history on that stuff. I didn't really know that Preston Love Senior got some of his first gigs in the Dreamland Ballroom, and some of that claim to fame was when Count Basie came to town and all that. So
Man,
lots of history behind that we're going to be highlighting in the future. Check it out. But tonight is going to be Shaba Kha and Norman Love, of course, from the Love family. Speaking of Preston Love's son Norman, who I believe is the dopest saxophonist ever anywhere. He's being slept on right now. He's the baddest. He is so good. It's ridiculous. Don't even make no sense. How good Norman Love is. He's carrying the torch in a big way. He'll be here, and he's playing with Shaba Kha, another good friend of mine that I played in the band with back in the day too. So Shaba Kha,
hey,
who's a music historian, used to be Black Panther back in the day. Yeah, man, some heavy hitters gonna be at Dreamland Lounge tonight. So definitely check that out at 6 o'clock. Yeah, man, lots going on. Like I said, their grand opening is all weekend this weekend. So they got live music
man,
tomorrow. Yep. With Shaba Khan, Norman Love Burlesque. That's happening tomorrow. And then Blues and Brunch with Matt Richardson on Sunday. So at some point, get down to the Dreamland Lounge for their grand opening weekend on one of these days, so you can definitely check it out. I'm sorry I missed that deep dive with Dreamland Deep Dive last night, man. I was really looking forward to that.
man. Talk about the history.
Talk about the history for real, like where it all comes from. People need to understand what's happening. So, yeah, that's what it is. Speaking of what's happening, there's other stuff going on too. Of course, I don't know if you guys getting Cat Williams tickets. If you gotten Cat Williams tickets tonight,
Oh,
but he's going to be here tonight at Baxter Arena. Shout out to Cat Williams coming through the Golden Age tour. Love to hear what he got to say. Always.
man,
Also, there's the Green Book is getting ready to close on May 3rd. You only got a couple more days to see this Green Book exhibit, which everybody who goes says that it's a really good one. It's a really comprehensive and really interesting to see. And definitely go check it out. Shout out to the Durham Museum for this exhibit that's been running since February 7th. Only got 2 more days to see it, so get ready for that. For real. Also, we told you we've been telling you all week about this 19th annual Rebuilding the Village conference and Revive Black Business Expo. This is coming next week. I'm really putting it out there early so you can make sure that you get registered and plan on going next weekend, because I think this is something that everybody needs to really be checking out, especially everybody who has questions in things to say about the Empowerment Network. Go see it for yourself. Go experience what's going on, and go meet the people in the network. That's really kind of the strong point there, is all these businesses and organizations and individuals that are in the network that can really help you do anything that you're trying to do in a big way. So highly suggest you do that. And yeah, that's what it is right now. Also, the Democratic Party's got some stuff coming up too. They're talking about vote early at Douglas County Election Office, which today is actually the last day for you to be able to do that. But on May 9th, they got something coming up from 9 to 1. It's Party at the Polls. They're going to have DJ Mr. Soul out there, food trucks, voter guides, all kinds of stuff. So put this on your calendar for May 9th, and we'll come back and talk about that a little bit later as well. And also, we'll be talking about this film coming up when we talk to our guest, Amanda Kephart, today, this new Omaha film. inspired by disastrous Nebraska law, is winning praise from critics. A lot of people are talking about this new film called Omaha. They've been talking about it at film streams for a while. We'll talk to Amanda Kephart about it when she comes on a little later on. She's from Film Streams, and we'll be talking about that film and a few more other films. And like I said, some of the things that just happened with the Amir Locke movie that played last week that people
Man,
went to and got to speak to the family afterwards for. So lots happening over there at Film Streams, and we definitely are excited to talk to her about things that are coming up as well. So shout out to her. A few more things that are coming up in the future here. May 13th, Patty
hey,
LaBelle's going to be in town at the Holland Center. Yeah, it's going to be a hot summer. Lots of lots
man,
lots of people lots of people getting down this summer in a big way. So shout out to them. Also, don't forget about Noma Fest over there in the Deuce. Barcades, Mono Neon, Keon Harold, Mohini Day is going to be in the house. Frank McComb, Richie Love's going to be speaking to some more Love family. Richie Love holding it down. He's coming out as well for Noma Fest 5. It's in August. Yeah, things coming up. We got all kinds of festivals coming up in Juneteenth and everything that's happening this summer. So we'll be trying to do a little comprehensive report on and what things are happening, especially around the Deuce area
man,
coming up here soon because it's getting hot summer.
man. That's not even a fraction of it. You still got Noma Fest. We'll pull up and vibe. You still got Joy Fest. I mean, it's yeah,
Lots happening. Lots
yeah.
happening. Brother McGaw gives us a morning. Good morning to you.
Hey,
Appreciate you. Also, Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys got any haps that are going on this weekend that we're missing, please put them in the chat and put them in Friends of First Guy Omaha, the group page on Facebook, so that we can all make sure that we, got options about what it is we want to go check out. Let's patronize some of this stuff. I've been waiting all winter long to be able to get outside. It's time to be able to go outside now. So,
man, tis the
yeah,
season. Tis the
tis the
season.
season. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Pop says about Norm. He says I couldn't agree more. Talking about Norman Love. Said he's
Mm,
on the level of Charlie Parker, Rashid,
mm,
Willie Kirk, and John Coltrane. He would have fit right in with them. If I had a fantasy band, he would be my sax guy. Same,
man,
same, same. As a matter of fact,
that's
I had a band called Mother May I Jive Connection that I started when I got out here, and Norman Love was in my band. He was one of the first people I called. So
man.
I fully agree with you on that. He's that good. He's that good.
That's
Richie Love is that good too. Richie Love plays more kind of urban contemporary style jazz, but
mhm,
Norman
mhm.
Love plays like Charlie Parker jazz, for real,
Mm,
for real, for real. So
yeah.
RG says, "Hey man, if anyone is a Star Wars enthusiast, that would be me.
May the 4th coming
May
up.
the Fourth be with you." They're gonna be showing the original next weekend at the Holland with the Omaha Symphony playing the movie score. Yep, that's the one I was looking forward to talk about. Definitely got to check that out, man. For they're gonna put the movie on the big screen, silent, and then the orchestra is gonna be playing all the John Williams scores. So you know I got to
Come
be
on,
up in
man.
there.
Come
You know
on,
I got to
man.
be up in there. That's what it is. Marlon Harrison said Willie Barney says that at least 10 cities such as New Orleans, Syracuse, Kansas City, Tulsa, Albany, and Detroit will be coming to the Rebuilding the Village National Conference.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Come to Omaha. Come on through. Come to Omaha. See
Yeah.
what's
I mean, we've been seeing it firsthand, shout out to those who are putting it together, but we got to talk about it. Really, I don't think we even still, after years of now at this point talking about it, have a full grasp of how, massive the network, emphasis on word network,
yeah.
is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been actually we'll kind of talk about it today. Well, especially with the history of the Dreamland, but we've been talking about Peacock Corner. That's a little bit of that same energy again, bringing the Tulsa energy. Even communities like New Orleans, Kansas City, Detroit. Man, especially Tulsa and Detroit. I'll say those specifically,
Mm-hmm.
thinking of Detroit and the Motown sound and how art kind of, spurred economic development. Peacock Corner, man, like that same energy. That's what we're talking about. We can recreate that right there on the Deuce. We done it before. Looking to do it again, man. So yeah, yeah, appreciate that, Marlon, for bringing that into the conversation.
That's right. As a matter of fact, there's going to be a part of that conversation today. What's today's thread, buddy, that we
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
tie
yeah.
all that
Gonna
into? Yeah.
Yeah, sneak that in there. We'll definitely be getting on some Love Supreme Tings today. It is, of course, Friday. And one of the other films that our friends over at Film Streams have set up for this month is Summer Days, Jazz on a Summer's Day.
It's called Jazz on a Summer's Day. You got it. Yep.
Hey.
Not
Yeah.
so
So
foggy
yeah.
brain after all this
Yeah,
morning.
not so foggy, I guess. But yeah, we'll definitely be getting into again what Film Streams has set up, a little Love Supreme things, but also I have to get into some other things. So we'll kind of be jumping around. Definitely have to talk. I mean, I hate to say when I'm right, but I'll be right. I'll be right. Look, on Monday, I told y'all Trump is trying to take us back to Jim Crow, trying to take us back to the 50s. And here we have it. Just what was it, yesterday? Supreme Court pretty much gutted the Voting Rights Act. Yeah, we got to talk about it. We have to talk about it, especially in light of now, less than 2 weeks away from the primary. Of course, if you've been paying attention, we've been having our candidates come through, and I think we still have a few more candidates slotted, if I'm not mistaken. But again, if there's anybody that you would like to hear from, definitely, again, let us know in the chat. Also, shout out to Nebraska Examiner and the Women's League of Voters for dropping their voter guides. I don't know if you've been looking at that yourselves, but check it out because, again, today is a last day to register to vote. So we'll definitely be talking about that as well. And just looking at the whole voting landscape in general. Again, pushing people to go register to vote today if you haven't already. But also, shout out to IB Black Girl kind of breaking it down, letting us know what this really means as far as, again, the Supreme Court decision on the Louisiana redistricting situation. So yeah, got to dive into it, but also expanding the conversation. Of course, we've been coming to the conclusion that regardless of who we put in office, after everybody registers and goes out and vote and exercises that right, it doesn't stop there. Again, shout out to, I believe, Channel 3 releasing an article looking at Congressional District 2 candidates and what their plan is for North Omaha specifically, which is something that we've been asking. Again, what is the plan? Once we get these people in office, what are we holding them to account to do? So again, definitely looking at that throughout today, and of course looking at a couple of other things that will impact our bottom line, because all of this matters, because hey, it's a fight, not just our voting rights, but Medicaid being impacted as well, leaving thousands of Nebraskans in the balance. So we kind of talked about that, but definitely want to again reiterate because some things actually kick off today. So again, some timely things, some news you can use as always. If there's anything we're missing, some breaking news, anything you want to talk about on your hearts and minds, definitely feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, we're here for the next couple of hours. Paul B.
Yo, yo.
What's the word? What's the word?
Man, let's take a quick break, which we'll have to be doing here on this Haps Friday, on this Love
Man.
Supreme Friday. Lots going on, so we'll take a quick break and come back and jump back into the conversation. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey.
Welcome. We'll be right back, y'all.
Get ready, Omaha. Join us for the Omaha Freedom Festival, a free, family-friendly celebration of Juneteenth on June 13th at Miller Park. Enjoy free food, community resources, and family fun from 12 to 5 p.m. Play basketball, kickball, dance, activities for all ages. Enter for a chance to win great prizes. Download your free day pass now at omahafreedomfestival.com. Celebrate freedom, family, food, and fun.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy to God. Restream can't handle all them commercials.
Oh, like whoa now, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Slow down. Yep, yeah. Appreciate you guys joining us back. It is a Love Supreme Friday. We do have our special guest coming in shortly. She is from Film Streams and one of my favorite people in Omaha right now, Amanda
Hey,
Kephart,
hey.
getting down with us from the Film Streams crew. And we'll be talking a lot about what's happening there with some of the third space events that they got going on over there,
Man.
past and present and future and coming up. So
Yeah.
lots going on. Appreciate you, Marlon Harrison, giving us that side note. Said Preston Love Sr. is a North High grad. Oh, that's what's
Visa.
up. There you go. Also, he says former Councilman Ben Gray has been trying to a lot of young people register to vote. Get a lot of young people registered to vote. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
he's still been pretty active, man. We interviewed him when he was running again for District 2 a little while ago. I guess it was last year now. And he
Mhm.
told us about some of the work he's been doing. Ben Gray still out there trying to make a difference, trying to get the folks to get busy. And it's a good time to do it too, because the timing of what's happening right now is incredible. Today is May 1st. Deadline for in-person voter registration at Election Commission office at 6 o'clock today. So if you have any questions about your status, your registration, where your polling place is, what if you've moved, anything, any issues you got, I highly suggest you go down to the voter registration election commission office and get it straightened out. Make sure you're registered to vote. Today's the last day you can do that in person. So and as you can see, there's many more things coming up. Deadline for early voting ballots to be requested to be mailed. Today is the last day for that request at 6 o'clock. You might want to call down there and make that request. Also today, deadline for replacement ballots to be requested to be mailed. So anything that you need as far as ballots are concerned that you need to have mailed to you, today's the day. You got to have that, make that phone call and get that done before 6 o'clock. So we'll be talking about some of these other dates coming up, but those are the hot ones today, it being the
Yeah.
first. Yep. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and jump into the stories, buddy. What's first on the agenda?
Yeah, again, I'm sure y'all picked up the style by now. I like to start off with the affirmative as far as stories, concepts, ideas, things going on in the community that paint the picture of where we're trying to go, where we're trying to envision, what we're trying to put down. And I feel like, man, this first story actually covers a few bases for me. As far as, again, shout out to Katie Rain and the whole team at the Dreamland Lounge, and that's opening up. Actually, it's kind of had a soft opening, if you will, over the last couple of weeks. Been seeing some of the team out there. Shout out to Aggie Kid, been on the ones and twos out
Yeah.
there doing his thing. Squad. But yeah, man, today and throughout this weekend is the actual grand opening of Dreamland Lounge, and for me, it's kind of doing a couple of things, man, and want to highlight it and talk about it today. Unfortunately, the team wasn't able to make it out to the event yesterday, but shout out to everybody for inviting us. Of course, brother Preston Love Jr. was there sharing some history, and that's kind of why for me it's covering a couple bases. One, it's on Ames, so we've been talking a lot about the Deuce, and we will continue, talking about the development, highlighting what's going on. Actually, have some things in the works, so look out for that. But don't want to forget about Ames either. You know what I mean? Shout out to Island Chill, who just set up shop over there. Of course, now Katie and the Dreamland Lounge setting up shop over there. So you have the element of economic development. I like how that rolled off the tongue. Yeah, that was nice. That was
Alliteration and
nice.
everything.
Yeah. But again, the economic development going on, but also um, you have the arts supporting this economic development. At the same time, you have again, it's still a throwback of old to Dreamland. The Dreamland, what was the ballroom?
Hmm.
Was the actual name of it?
That's the
Again,
name.
right there on the Deuce. And yeah, man, just kind of reaching back, if you will, to that time period. That's that vibe, that spirit, and keeping that going. Which I wanted to talk about a little bit. On this Love Supreme Friday, set it up for this. Paul, and out of the two of us, I think you're more well equipped to talk about it as far as being close to the family legacy with your family space being right there. As far as in that same area, being a part of that legacy of the history of jazz and blues in North Omaha, and not just what that meant artistically for the people that have a third space, for the people that have an artistic outlet, but the money that it brought into the community and what that meant. So yeah, you want to
Yeah.
speak on that a little bit?
I can, yeah. Because even though I missed last night, I actually had a personal conversation with Brother Preston Love Jr. Interviewed him about a week ago for an article I'm working on, and he gave me a little bit of rundown on that too. Just some of the history. Of course, the Dreamland Ballroom used to be in what's the Jewel Building now. This is an old picture of it, but the Dreamland Ballroom is where OEDC is now, which I think is
Mm.
really interesting. It was in what they call the Jewel Building, and lots of legends there. I mean, Count Basie and his orchestra. This is where Preston Love Senior got discovered, and he told me a story. I can't wait to play this story for you. I recorded him talking about it. We'll play it at some point, but how Preston Love got discovered by Count Basie and him is really interesting.
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah, that's kind of what went on there, and the biggest part of the story for me is speaking to Katie about the reason why she named it the Dreamland Lounge, and she's a person who comes from a legacy family, Thomas Funeral Homes, and she's really we have conversations about legacy all the time. It's always legacy, legacy, legacy every time we're talking.
Man.
Sound like Jay-Z song when we start talking together.
Hey, legacy, legacy.
Man, and she's just all about it. So she wanted to, honor that. She wanted to make it a jazz club. So what better way to honor the jazz scene than to talk about some of the old school places around? And then she went and talked to Preston Love about it, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's make sure we preserve the history there." So I love that she named it Dreamland Lounge. She's reaching back for players. She's trying to enhance the jazz scene in North Omaha. Also, when you talk about 30th Street. It was kind of a surprise that she had it on 30, that she was putting it on 30th Street. Everybody's still kind of like, where is it at? It's pretty obvious where it's at as soon as you know where it's at. There's
Hmm.
Hanks across the street. They got an ecosystem of music going on right there in that corner. But and it's on the other side of the of North High, but down on 30th and Ames is where the Inland Port Authority is stretching around as well. There's a bunch of money that's going in that area too. So kind of from Ames and 30th all the way up past Dreamland and even beyond. Ames is getting some love too, which they really need. They really need
Man.
that. So yeah, it's interesting to go back and do something around that area. There's a restaurant next door to where she's at as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on that corridor, and I'm just like anxious. I'm happy to see that there's live music again. Somebody really reaching back for the live. She's part of this ecosystem now with NOMA, North Omaha Music Academy, as far as bringing out guests and having a regular place for jazz players to come play, meeting a lot of new players that we knew all the players for a while, but then we start meeting these new guys, these young cats coming.
Hmm.
We're like, okay, the vibe's still alive. So I'm just real happy that's the case. And this summer, I'm planning on definitely trying to be out and be a part of that scene again, since there is one growing. It's all about growing the scene
Hey.
around here.
Man, that's really it. That's really it. Well, speaking of the young players, shout out to my man Hawkins on the drums and my man Mickles on the keys. You know what I'm saying? Hey, get
Yeah,
down, get
get
down, get down. Young brothers, young brothers. But yeah, man, definitely that scene. That's where my mind is. Not necessarily just musically, but these pockets. We kind of were talking about the Miller Park situation. Um, in previous episodes, and what I didn't want to get lost, or what I kind of more so wanted to focus on or elevate really in the conversation, is also that Miller Park area. And just started thinking of these pockets around Omaha, where especially North Omaha, where we can focus, like hyper focus and build up, rather than spreading ourselves out. And pockets like the Deuce was going on, Peacock Corner was going on, Ames, All Money, even Sundays, and that Miller Park area, like really support what's going on with the businesses, with some of the organizations in those areas, and really hyper focus is the main thing that I'm thinking about. So because we need that hyper focus to answer this one question that I've been racking my brain about, like as far as what it is that we want, what it is that we would like to see, which is why I try to start these shows with the affirmative, as I call it, to paint that picture, to put us in a positive direction. Like, of course, we can spend all day talking about what the problems are. We can spend all day talking about what the issues are, what we don't like, what we don't want to see. I think we're all very familiar with that. But if we don't start putting our mind in the positive, in the affirmative, at some point we got to stop playing defense. So, what is the offensive play? What is the plan? What does it look like? Which is why, again, we wanted to highlight this next article. Shout out to Channel 3 for, again, highlighting the candidates and as they share their policies for North Omaha ahead of the 2026 primary election. Again, we're just a few weeks away from that. And of course, we've been trying to do our due diligence as far as getting some of the candidates, especially for Congressional District 2, here on the show to, break down what it is their plans are. But again, I did want to highlight this article because it again focuses specifically on North Omaha and tries to answer the question as far as what is our plan, what it is that we're looking for. Again, this is reported by KMTV3 as the May 12th primary. Now, just again, less than 2 weeks away, and reiterating today is the last day to register to vote. And what was the other thing going on today? You pulled it up to request a mail-in ballot. Was that it?
Yeah. Deadline for early voting ballots to be requested by mail to be mailed
Yeah.
today
Okay.
in
So
replacement.
yeah, man, today is the day. Today is the day. So again, not only are we requesting that you register to vote and get prepared, but that you do your due diligence and understand what it is that you're looking for and what issues matter the most to you. Five candidates are sharing their policy ideas and backgrounds to benefit the North Omaha community, focusing on healthcare, the economy, and infrastructure. Keishla Askins, who's a Navy veteran who has served in extensive medical care, calls her economic plan SHIELD. So somebody has an economic plan for North Omaha. Of course, we had John Kavanaugh on who wants to cap child care expenses for middle class families. Crystal Rhodes, which is maybe somebody else we might have to talk to. Also, Denise Powell, who we just spoke to. She says positions including addressing maternal health care, which again, you can revisit our conversation to get more in depth with her. Also, Crystal Rhodes says she plans to tackle affordability by having federal government invest in infrastructure. And also Melanie Williams, which I'm hearing a lot of people are high on after our conversation with her. Shout out to her, who's again one of the only self-proclaimed Democratic socialists in this congressional District 2 race. She says that she will push for more bus routes and transportation to help neighbors. For people who watch how our money is being spent, that's a ridiculous question because there's money. It's just not the priority. It's talking about political will. And again, all these things are fine and dandy, but what it is that we're looking for as we continue to push for the affirmative. I forget the what was it people's. I forget the thing that Anthony Rogers Wright has been kind of trying to big up, but definitely how can we come together is the main question.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, especially when it comes to the black agenda, which a lot of people are asking about all the
That
time.
part.
The first part of it is that we need one. So black leaders get together and come with some kind of agenda, or leaders and just people who got boots on the ground. It's not even the so-called leaders. It's just people in general trying to get together and figuring out what we need for North Omaha, what we need for people who are suffering, so people that need things, and is suffering under this administration. Some of the things that are happening here that's getting peeled back all the time, like we're talking about this Medicaid thing happening today. And how do we set up some infrastructure to be able to help folks
Right.
when we can't count on the city to help the city or the state to help us? Do what we got to do? So that's kind of the first question. What do we need? What do we want? What's the black agenda for us? What kind of self-sufficiency are we trying to grow for us? And then after that, we move into the lane of political power and ask the people that are running, how is it that you're going to serve that agenda? It's not for them to come up with the agenda for us. We asking them who have you already talked to about what it is we need and what we're trying to do. We need you
Hmm.
to come up with a plan based on the needs that we've expressed. We need you to get in there and do that. So the other day we were kind of talking a little bit about strategy versus voting for people because of their politics, and I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing people who don't really agree all the way with a person's politics, but they see a strategy in voting for this person because that person will give them access. We'll be able to speak to them. We'll be able to they feel a pull to do something for people that need it, and you can work with them. Some people have great politics, but you can't work with them. So it's a little bit of a nuanced situation. It's kind of deep that you got to get into to figure out where you stand on things, and not just have one reason why you're voting people in. But if you don't start with our agenda, we don't start with what it is we want to do and what we need and how we plan on doing it and how we can use these politicians that get into that seat to serve that agenda, then we're a little bit lost. So we got to peel back a little bit and do that. And for me, and then it's like, who can we work with in that lane to help us get there? So that's why I feel about it. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from you in the chat how you feel about that. Ariel's 402 was saying hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button
Hey,
on YouTube if you would, and on Facebook. Also, I forgot to ask people, share the show. Share the show if you would on
hey,
your
hey.
Facebook page. It's easy to do on your Facebook page as we're live, and also share the link from your YouTube if you're on YouTube, and send it to somebody who you think might benefit from this conversation and add to it. We really appreciate that. But yeah, that's the next question for me, is to get with some of the folks that are out here caring about these situations and saying, what's the agenda?
Man,
We're associated with the Black Agenda Alliance. With their whole organization is there to create a Black agenda. That Black agenda needs to work with all folks, all groups that consider ourselves Black, consider the community a Black community, also a community of color, also teaming up with folks like the Rainbow Coalition that Fred Hampton put together, you know what
hey,
I'm saying, and Jesse Jackson put together. So like, we got to think about how to increase those numbers and get on the same page, because we all have some needs. We all have some things that we share in common that we need these politicians to be able to pivot to. And first
man.
thing we got to do is get together first.
And for me, I think it's even, we've asked this question before, we've had this conversation before. But as things tighten up, as we get closer to this midterm election, as Trump obviously gets more desperate and desperate, I think the conversation does need to change to a more sense of urgency. Like it's beyond, just hey, let's get our needs met, which are, I mean, obviously our needs have not been met for a while. But it feels like it's beyond just, our needs not getting met. It seems like there's something a lot more sinister on the horizon. And, this latest Supreme Court decision is definitely an indicator of that, a canary in the coal mine, if you will, as far as, again, if you didn't hear, again, Supreme Court pretty much gutted the Voting Rights Act, which I kind of foresaw and foreshadowed on Monday, as I mentioned. Trump, who was let Marlon Harrison tell it, who was born before the contiguous 50 state. All 50 of the United States were actually states. Speaking of taking us back, yeah, we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. But we
Yeah.
are a little behind. You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break and then we'll jump back in and dig into this before we get to our special guest. Amanda
Yeah,
Kephart from Film Streams will be joining us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
Paul B, that's me. Buddy to God, that's him. Stay tuned,
Hey.
y'all.
Step into history at the Omaha Freedom Festival with our Negro Leagues and Black Baseball Storytelling Series, a powerful celebration of America's baseball legacy. Join us Saturday, June 13th, 2026 at Gene Leahy Mall Pavilion. Hear from historians and icons as they bring the rich history of the Negro Leagues to life. Just download your free ticket at omahafreedomfestival.com. Don't miss this celebration of history, heritage, and America's game. Only at the Omaha Freedom Festival.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, the 1st of May. So
Yeah.
it's gotta be May. It's going down.
It's gotta be May.
There it is. You know what the first means? It's time to pay the rent. Gotta pay the
My
rent.
back.
My neck and my back. Welcome back. Thanks for everybody that's joining us. Marlon Harrison in the chat is saying the reason why a true Black agenda is hard to in 2026 for me is because a lot of Black people can't agree on what we need to focus on. Yes, that's the hardest part of all, getting together anybody's agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we need to focus. There's a lot of focuses when there's a lot of needs. There's a lot of places to have to focus. But yeah, there needs to be efforts to try to come together as the people and figure out how to tackle things one thing at a time, or however it needs to happen, or break it up into lanes like we do. So we got 7 different lanes we talk about all the time, and if everybody can move in those lanes together, then we can make a difference. And that's what this show too is really about, like just bringing folks together. It started off as a regular news kind of channel where we can make a hot seat and have a debate on it and go and hit both sides and all that kind of stuff. And it morphed into the situation where we're at now, which is we kind of more interested in gathering like-minded individuals that we can kind of get together and make a plan together with and move forward together. So that's what it's about for us, and that's what we need all over the place, and not just in the Black community. All communities need this. All communities have different needs, and they feel like we got to handle certain needs first. But the whole point is to try to get together and figure out what we can do and who the people are in power that we can tap to help us do that. So
Yeah.
we'll come back to that. And go ahead.
Yeah, no, I want to build on it and actually pivot to the next story. I see a few comments coming in.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say hi to Allie Peeler. So shout out to
hey,
Allie Peeler coming through.
oh, okay, Allie.
Yeah. See, a morning friends. I went to the showing of Omaha last night at Film Streams. It was phenomenal. We're definitely going to talk about that showing, that Omaha film.
Yeah, man.
If you remember when Amanda Kephart was with us last time, she was tearing up thinking about that film. She said it was
Yeah.
that powerful. So we'll be talking about that Omaha film too, and can't wait to hear about it. And again, our special guest Amanda will be on here in a few minutes. So I appreciate everybody who's joining us. Shout out to Allie for coming through. Says happy full moon. And what does that say? Beltane?
Beltane.
You gotta teach me about the Beltane. You know nothing about that over here. Marlon Harrison says, while some Black people want to focus on economic development, other Black people want to health and wellness, focus on health, wellness, education, the arts, and STEM. Yeah, I feel like we could figure out where we need to kind of start first. It's kind of about surviving first, ain't it?
Man, and yeah, that's definitely what I wanted to respond to was Marlon's comments in the chat, and kind of clarify some things about our style here and what we actually mean. We were definitely all about getting people together, coming together, solidarity, all of those things. But I do want to make it clear that that doesn't necessarily mean that we agree on everything all the way. Like
Right.
that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. As far as agreeing on everything and everybody getting on, when we talk about solidarity, when we talk about coming together, really is like, okay, what are your needs? Like what are your needs individually? What are your needs individually? What are your needs individually? And then after everybody's individual needs are assessed, I'm sure we will have certain groups of needs that everybody has that needs to be addressed, and we can prioritize
Right.
those needs.
You can start on first.
Right. Which at this moment, it does feel appropriate to give a shout out to Kimra Snipes, who we got to talk to sister. We got to talk to sister soon. What they're doing at One Omaha. Of course, she mentioned that I think that's actually coming up this month, the needs assessment that they have going on at One Omaha, which can maybe help with some of this. And regardless of how we go about it, we need to figure it out. We need to make it happen because, again, this Voting Rights Act is an indicator that things are really only going to get worse.
Word.
Things are only really going to get worse. So, again, we'll definitely we'll put a pin in that for now.
You want to? I kind of want to tap
yeah.
in just a slight bit. Shout out to IB Black Girl who put this out. The Supreme Court has gutted the Voting Rights Act. We definitely need to talk about it. I love the way they broke this down because it shows exactly what's needed in a few slides. This is something that we need to talk about. So if you have any information on this too, when we come back to it, we would love to hear from you on that because it's a pretty major situation that's going on right now, especially with this schedule that's happening right now. As of today, deadline for in-person voting registration in Election Commission office at 6:00. The deadline for early voting ballots to be requested, and also for replacement ballots to be requested. So now we're getting down to we got to pay attention to the days that are winding down to this situation, and it was already going to be a fight to try to get there and try to make it happen. We already had to go through trying to now you got to have the real ID and everything, go vote and all the stuff. But now people have been hearing about this, and you see people up in arms about it. But what does it actually mean? We definitely need to deep dive on that and talk about that a little bit later on in the show as well. So for sure. For sure. Get ready for that conversation. Stay tuned for that conversation. We definitely need to hear from you on that and what it means to you. This act that's happened. So in the meantime, between time, in order to wind up to our special guest, buddy, did you have something that we needed to dive into? Or are you ready to go?
Yeah, no, I do have a segment, segue really, because it's not just the Voting Rights Act. Of course, we kind of talked about it with the Medicaid situation, which
Hmm.
is also going to impact a lot of us, especially those of color, quote unquote, and those in economic hardship. But in anticipation of our next guest, because one of the main things that we've been highlighting with Film Streams is this community checkup series that they have, again, talking about health in various aspects, alongside with, I believe, UNMC. And shout out to Katie White, so who's also kind of helping with that situation. But yes, medical, talking about our medical situation and Medicaid in general. Again, and especially in Nebraska, it is kind of interesting. We're highlighting and looking at what's going on at the federal level with the Supreme Court. Um, Man, I mean, it really seems like when you look at all the government side of things, we got six branches that we really gotta deal with, and I'm talking about, the three branches at the state level and the three branches at the federal level, who all seem to be making some pretty interesting decisions. And again, the latest decision from the executive branch on the state level, talking about Ellen Pillen's office, again, jumping the gun. Nebraska becoming the first state to implement a Medicaid work requirement signed by Trump, meaning that, again, 8 months before the federal mandate kicks in, many in the state of Nebraska will have to face work requirements in order to get the health care that they actually need. Meaning that, again, you have to work or volunteer. I think there are some volunteer requirements, but not everyone who has coverage will need to submit proof that they're working according to some of the stipulations. However, the state says it will first match enrollees with other data it has to see if participants are working or exempt. So maybe tax data they might be looking into. So
Hmm.
again, and that leaves between 20,000 and 28,000 who would have to provide more information, plus an average. Um, Dang, pop-up ads. Average of 3,000 to 4,000 new enrollees each month. Again, many being left and hanging in the balance, just to kind of finalize on the situation. For instance, instead of showing a work week of 80 hours a month, someone could instead provide records that demonstrate they earned at least $580, the amount someone earned minimum wage with making 80 hours. Now, people who don't submit requested information within 30 days of being asked could have their applications denied or lose coverage they already have, which is the big thing as far as these requirements impacting people who are already on Medicaid and could possibly find themselves in a tougher medical situation. So, again, a lot of realities, a lot of medical hardships, a lot of people facing, and we can kind of break that down a little more. But that is part of the reason why, again, Film Streams has been doing this community checkup and talking about these films and addressing some of those medical hardships and realities that a lot of Americans are dealing with. I think last month they talked about abortion with the grandma film, and of course this week that we talked about mental health and depression with this skydiving film. I forget the name of it. Uh,
How about we bring in our guest and she can let us know?
yeah, perfect segue.
Right on, right on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Amanda Kephart to join us from Film Stream. And there she is. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
How are
Good
you doing this
morning.
morning?
I'm tired. As Allie pointed out, we had the premiere of Omaha last night, and
Yes.
it was awesome. But to Buddy's point, to Buddy's beautiful segue,
Thank you.
the
Got you.
film is called Space Cowboy.
Man.
And big shout out to UNMC College of Public Health and to Katie Whites for helping make this possible. And the film follows a fellow named Joe Jennings, and this guy, like remember in the 90s and early 2000s, there were all those commercials where stuff was falling in the sky. There's a dude on a couch with like speakers blasting at him. Like
Mm.
this is like this guy filmed all that. Like he was part of like those teams who were like these expert skydivers who were doing these crazy things.
Wow.
And the film really follows his journey of loss and grief and trying to figure out what to do and how to seek help for the grief that he's dealing with. So yeah, we're super, super excited. And the panel is going to be um, Paul Wiseapple, who's the director of Nebraska Harm Reduction. The director of the Nebraska Harm Reduction Program, which
Yes,
is
yes.
an awesome program. He is the man is a beast. I've known him for a long time. Tiffany Gormley, who's a licensed independent mental health practitioner and alcohol and drug counselor. Joseph Van Trammell, who's a mental health practitioner at Heart Ministries, focusing on the treatment of co occurring mental health and substance abuse disorders. And then Lee Cook, who's co director of reproductive psychiatry at Nebraska Medicine and on the faculty of UNMC's College of Nursing. So like, we have this expert panel of people who are from our community, who are doing good work in our community to talk about how we can pay more attention to it. And we thought it was really important to show, mental health through a male gaze, right? I think a lot of stories are sort of focused on mental health from a female perspective, and this is a very interesting take on this, right? You've got somebody who is, a thrill seeker, dedicated to doing this kind of sort of crazy work, and the road he walks to get back to some type of, I guess, normalcy. I don't even know if that's the right word, but like
Right.
living life with some type of joy again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I can't wait to check that out. That's let me look at the date again on that. That's Monday, May 4th. Okay, cool.
Yes,
So,
6:30 p.m. at the Ruth Sokoloff Theater, which is our theater down here by the ballpark, 1340 Mike Fahey. Yeah, it's a great film. We're excited about it. That's on Monday. We're excited about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. That's been a really interesting series. I've been able to hear a lot from like UNMC people and stuff during that series. So shout out to that particular series as well. Love that. And
Hmm.
yeah, when I saw the trailer, I was like, this dude, yeah, we got to. I definitely want to check this out. And I love this question about how it is that we bring joy back and excitement back in our life as well, because a lot of us are always really kind of dealing with depression or being or just being down about stuff. And if you're a thinking person at all, then it's very natural for you to be very upset about what's happening all the time. And and there is doom and gloom happening all around us. So it takes like this extra mental effort in order to try to find some joy, find some appreciation,
Yeah,
and remember what makes you happy. I definitely am going through that myself of trying to be like, what did I used to like to do? You know what I mean? Like just that
Hmm.
question alone. What was
it's
fun? You know?
it's tough, right? I mean, each of us has to try and find solace in ways. Well, this actually, in my opinion, goes back to Marlon's comment from a little bit ago, talking about that sort of difference between economic development and like the focus on STEM and the arts and education and wellness.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And like I sit in this place where those things, most of what we do, most of what we feel, all of the sciences and the arts and like economics and mathematics, these are all the same thing. They're just different ways that each of us finds a language that we speak fluently,
Mhm.
Hmm.
right? Not just the way we talk to each other, but like the way we think about the world and what we love and what we pursue informs the way we walk in the world, right? And so, like math is music, simple fact,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
right? Which means that music can be math. Like,
Hmm.
color is waves, waves are science. You know what I mean? Like it's just all the same. And so like I think that it's capable to be to each of us have a distinct way of viewing the world and moving through it and all be saying the same, not all, you know what I mean, but like most of us saying, the same thing. We just have to have some translators to work with us, right, to like help us see that and understand that we're all supporting each other in that way. So yeah, I think
Hmm.
economic development is STEM.
Man,
Very true.
actually, have a running theory that kind of coincides with that, and I'll
Go
drop this
on.
in there, yeah, and bring it back to the conversation. Paul, you might know where I'm going with this as far as the love and survival theory. I have a theory that people are raised on one or two things. It's either love or survival, and to your point, you need love to survive. So they're coincided. But for me, the love is the stem, the arts. All of those things are what we call the love supreme. Those things come from a place of love and curiosity. But when you don't have that love and where you're just struggling and you're just trying to in this mental space of just trying to survive numbers and economic development, and you can't really get abstract in your thoughts because you have to be so concrete. So definitely that love and survival, and too much of us, from my perspective, are raised on survival,
Yeah.
and having to deal with the mental load of that. Which is why I appreciate you bringing this film and talking about this, and even having somebody like Paul Wiseapple, who we're also familiar with, friend of First Sky Omaha,
Absolutely.
has dealt with his own life traumas, going through things, and definitely looking forward to that conversation and how he moderates it. But I want to echo this for the listeners, man. Like, really think about, especially I appreciate you elevating men in this, we talk about Johnny No Good and what he's doing with Beyond the Stigma, and this whole cross section of not just depression but grief. I myself have lost, I lost a close one several years ago, and going through life and dealing with grief and thoughts of survivor's remorse and all of these things, they come up, especially in our communities.
Yeah.
We talking about people who lost loved ones to gun violence,
Right.
and those are the types of things that impact not just the victims, but the families, the
Yep.
friends, the
Yep.
community at large. So just this conversation is very timely, and I hope the same thing we've seen with No Knock, the same thing we've seen with Omaha, people show up and show out
Yeah.
for this conversation, because it's needed. It's
Yeah.
needed.
Yes.
Speaking of No Knock, we got to talk about that a little bit too. The film that just
Yeah,
passed. We tried to get as many people there as we could. How was the turnout? How did the night go? Were you there?
I was that. Well, that's the reason I wasn't with you on Friday. I actually took a weekend off, and so I had just gotten home, and so yeah, I heard it was amazing. I actually talked to somebody who was on site when it was happening. Apparently, the turnout was bomb. Like, it was just like tons of people. Mayor Ewing was there. We had some reporters show up. Mr. Locke's family was present. Talking about it, and it was, from what I understand, it was a great turnout. So we're always super happy to work with UNO Black Studies. They're amazing, right? They're
Mhm.
small but mighty for sure.
Shout out to them for really putting that together. Shout out for you guys that did it too.
yeah,
That hosted it there. Like, it's the perfect space for that.
Yeah,
We had the family on at in the show earlier that day, and they were dropping some serious
man,
gems on the work that they've been doing, and some of the wins that they've been getting. For anybody to win a case that takes away qualified immunity from a police officer is doing some monumental, legendary stuff.
man.
So I think that we highly encouraged everybody to go check that film out, to go
yeah,
listen to the family. I'm glad that the turnout was good and everything was good for it. But this is just, to me, it's one of the best examples of what film streams is there for, can do. Being that kind of third space, playing this really important film, and what film can do as well. We're a couple of
yeah,
film guys ourselves, so it's like,
Man,
to put something like that together to really show people what's happening and move people to feeling and action, and then to have the people there discussing it and feel.
yes.
I'm sure that the audience felt riled up, like, yes, we can fight this, let's do it. So thank you guys again for hosting that, and everything that you guys do is just incredible.
Thank you, thank you. Very excited to expand our reach deeper into our community. Right, like
Hmm.
that's important. It's important. What we do. Discussing film as an art form and having space for people to talk about it. Film is like, it's such a great equalizer, right? Like, we're all viewing the same story, but that doesn't mean we view it the same way.
Hmm.
But those moments as you're walking out, as you're talking about it, with a stranger, right? Or as 2 days later when you're like, oh my god, that's what that meant.
Hmm.
Like, they're so fantastic. And last night I think was a good example of that. I think Nebraskans were sort of talking about the film Omaha, and we were graced with the director Cole Webley
Wow.
and John Magaro, who's the lead actor, and this still has the two lead child actors. Um, their names escape me right now. Wyatt and Molly, and the conversation afterwards. I think as Nebraskans, like, there was some. I feel like in the zeitgeist, there was a lot of embarrassment about this law and about
Hmm.
there not being a minimum age attached to it when it's first passed. But
Mm.
like, the thing that I think this film really does. I was talking to someone afterwards, and she said, like, these people aren't statistics. These people who have to make these hard choices. We're living this life every day, right? And it's circumstances are thrust upon us so frequently. Like people are like, well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That is physically impossible. Like if you had a physicist if you had a scientist, I don't even know what kind of science it would be. If you had someone, probably somebody who works at UNO body mechanics, it's physically impossible to do something like that. Like that's such a nonsense thing to say to someone. It's ridiculous, right? Like no one exists in a bubble. No one.
Do us a favor for the people that haven't seen the trailer or know about that movie. Just give us a quick synopsis of the movie and what law that it's referring to.
Yeah, I think the law was passed in the early 2000s, and it allowed. It was part of like a safe haven, safe harbor law, and I should be more clear, but I'm also very sleepy today. And so it allowed individuals to turn over rights of their children to the state of Nebraska. And so when the law initially was passed, there was no age limit, meaning you could turn your child over as long as you were their parental guardian. And so there's a particular story that stands out, and this man actually was interviewed by some journalists, and he dropped off several of his children. His wife had an aneurysm and passed suddenly. They were, struggling to survive anyway. And so the movie is sort of inspired by that tale. And that gentleman had children, that were pretty wide in age range. I think the oldest might have been 16 or 17, right? And so the movie was inspired by that. And so John's character, who is just simply Dad, has a lot of traumatic events happen in rapid succession, including losing, his partner. I don't want to give away too much, but the decisions, the things that have to happen in order for you to make that decision as a parent, again, not as a parent, but like I would imagine are very foundationally shaking to you to do that. Right. And so in total, I think less than 40 children were turned over. The law was changed. I think it's to 9 months, I believe now. The state legislature was like, oh, we got to fix this. So, yeah.
As in now, there's an age limit on when you can hand your kids over if you need to do that.
Yeah.
So his situation would have been really, really jacked up if that law happened, or is the law part of the situation in the film?
I mean, the fact that it's available to him, to Dad, to the character at the time is part of the situation. That the law, like I said, has been changed, so like that's not I'd say right something we would see now because the law is different. But and it's this sort of beautiful road trip story about what it is to have loss and grief and spend moments of joy with someone, and then it's wrapped in this really sad bow,
Tough. There's some showtimes here. I'm seeing you can get tickets for this today, so this is not one of the one-off movies. You can actually see this today. 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Actually 2:45, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 9:15. You can go check it out. It's getting national attention. It's very heavy film, very important film. And this is the kind of thing that film does. It puts you in the headspace and feeling of the people involved, because a lot of us can say, easily be like, I can understand giving my children up. I just can't understand that. But when you're able to see a film and and the film is done well, then you can understand why another person would be in a situation to feel like they need to do that. And you might not agree, but you can at least understand, at least have some empathy for that.
That's it, right? Like, and that's part of everything you all talk about, is building empathy for other humans and trying to find the space to like support yourself, but also uplift others. And in order to uplift others, you have to have empathy.
That's it.
That's it.
Shout out to Ali Pillar, kind of speaking of that. She says, I went into the movie blind, not knowing what to expect, and not really being familiar with the situation herself, but says, I urge people to see it. I cried all night, talking about feeling that empathy. And also I did want to add another element to this conversation, to the law, that, I didn't want to gloss over element of the law that would possibly, even make this movie possible. The fact that you didn't have to be a Nebraska resident for this law.
Right.
This was why a story like this might make national critical acclaim, because as Heather Williams in the chat is saying, you could be from anywhere. She says safe haven my friend dropped her son at UNMC. She was from Georgia.
Yeah.
Again, her son was 14. She says, I believe KTV interviewed her. It was really difficult for her. So again, not just the thought of dropping your child off at a hospital or someplace in general, but driving across country to a community you're not familiar with to do it in itself is a hard thing. So definitely, can imagine what the story kind of the heartstrings that the story pulls at.
Yeah, and like that's kind of it, right? Like I think that the majority of people who were taking advantage of this law when it was more lax, they weren't flying to Omaha to drop their kid off. You know what I mean? They had to take a long road trip with their child to get here.
Oof. Yeah. That's
Right. Y'all get me every time I cry.
Yeah.
Like I just can't imagine.
Yeah. But that's what film. That's what it's
That's what
for.
it does. Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
That's the
That's it.
power and the
That's it.
beauty of film, right?
That's it. That's it. So, actually, speaking of that, there were some other films I didn't want to talk about, highlight. If that's all right, Paul.
Other movies?
Yeah, y'all the ones that's rolling them out. A lot of work this month of May, and I'm kind of seeing a theme. It seems like there's like a Asian heavy theme. Of course, you have the Silent Wars film coming up, and then the Hong Kong cinema classics. Can you kind of talk
Yes,
about
yeah.
that? Is that intentional? What's that about?
Yeah, we're rolling around AAPI month, Asian American Pacific Islander month. We've had
Oh, okay.
Our Whites Fellow has been helping us focus on some different lenses, and some of those are Asian representation flames. But yes, so many onions in my office at 7:45 in the morning. Stupid onions. So one of the things, we had a wonderful conversation with the crew over at the Star, and we were talking about we should really play some Hong Kong movies, some Hong Kong classics, and
Really?
I'm a huge fan of like 70s, 80s Hong Kong stuff, even back in the 60s. Like, give me some Sonny Chiba, Karate Bear Fighter. Like, I'm here for like some of the deep cuts, right? Like
Sonny Chiba.
Sonny Chiba, yes.
Okay.
No Sonny Chiba for the for this series though. So this series is actually we're working with G Kids, I believe, is G Kids is the distributor on this. So they're in the process of like remastering some of these and re-releasing some of these awesome films. And these are films that like inspire the Wachowskis, for The Matrix. These are films that are like deeply inspirational to Tarantino. Actually, he has been quoted as saying Peking Opera Blues is like one of the best movies ever made. I feel like there's, like old school, like the 36 Chambers and like, all this stuff, right? Like this is stuff that is just like in the undercurrent of our culture. So we've got A Better Tomorrow, which is directed by John Woo. Gangster film, awesome, right? Classic, yes. That's I love that. Still.
Yeah, man. You gangster when you burning up $100 bill like your cigar. That's
right.
With your shades on.
Yeah. Yes. So then Peking Opera Blues, which we're big fans of. Also, the main characters are all female, which does happen for sure. There's a number of great Hong Kong cinema classics that have female leads or female protagonists as well. So this takes place in the early 1900s when these women sort of all meet each other at the Peking Opera House. And it's great. And then that's directed by Sui Hark. And they're a bunch of women freedom fighters. What a surprise. And then City on Fire, which is by Ringo Lam, who's a super well-known late 70s, early 80s Hong Kong director. Just fantastic cop film. It's great. A lot of inspiration. You'll see some things that I think are direct translations in Reservoir Dogs that were taken from City on Fire.
You got all kinds of stuff from that for Reservoir Dogs. I'm thinking of Heat, and I'm thinking of all those kinds of movies too.
Yes.
Like they wouldn't exist without these movies right here.
Not at all. And someone commented, Fist of Fury, Game of Death, dare I say Enter the Dragon? Yes, also. I would yes. It doesn't get any better than, there are probably a great many debates, but like Bruce Lee is obviously the best. I was watching some clips of him a couple of weeks or a month ago or something, and like these old clips, and like he's on the Dick Cavett show. Shout out to Nebraskan Dick Cavett, and he jumps
Mhm.
like from the ground onto like this bowl of water and doesn't the water is filled to the top and like doesn't move. It's just like the command of one's physical body that he had.
Totally.
I
So
mean, the
yeah,
mind too. Listen
yes,
to some
yes,
of his philosophy is
yes,
groundbreaking. It's
yes.
groundbreaking.
We need to do a thing where we do a dress up Last Dragon party
Hey,
where we play Fist of Fury first, Last Dragon, and then the Wu Tang documentary after that or something. You know, like it needs to be.
man.
It needs to. We need that Bruce Leroy
You know,
part.
you know, like the jizzes out here, like doing Hong Kong movies and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
out
Did you
here.
see? Have you seen him? Did you see the
Oh
one with
yeah.
Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
loved it. I can't think of the name
yeah.
of it right now.
I can't
I
think
Man,
of
thought it
it
was
either.
great.
Yeah, he's the man. That's the dude. That's what I'm talking about. Like to me, the culture, the culture, the Bruce Leroy is the perfect name for the
like you said,
Yes,
undercurrent of culture,
yes.
show up.
I
undercurrent of
mean,
culture.
The Wu
Um,
Tang, you know.
man, I did want to highlight
It's for
another
the
film.
kids.
Say again.
I'm sorry.
They're for the kids. It's for the kids.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Wu Tang, first guy. We for the kids.
for the
I
kids.
dare I say film streams as well. Yeah. Buddy, are you trying to jump on the jazz film?
Actually, before that,
All
I
right.
kind of wanted to end with that, but before that, I did want to elevate also Silent Wars, the Asian American Reckonings on Mental Health, which is something that was interesting to me for a couple of reasons. Just this perspective. This is something that actually jumped out, was brought to my attention from Get Out. Actually,
Hmm.
I was kind of picking this up from Get Out as far as racial tensions as far as Asian Americans. When we think about race in America, we often think about, white and black and maybe brown, Hispanic, like Latinx, you think about those demographics, but you don't really think about Asian Americans. And again, Get Out was one of the first social commentaries for me that kind of piqued my interest on that, as far as where Asian Americans kind of fit in that, still being discriminated against, but also still being viewed as a global superpower, at the same time. So it's kind of interesting dynamic. Can you kind of speak to that film?
Yeah, so this is in partnership with UNMC and the Nebraska Medicine Asian American Pacific Islander Employee Resources Group. And
Mm,
so they actually brought the film to us, and we thought the documentary was amazing, right? They're like many communities of color, and to be fair, right, like psychiatric care was viewed very differently 30, 40, 50 years ago than it is today.
mhm.
And so, these stigmas about seeking mental health care, and when you don't seek mental health care, what do you do with those emotions? And for some people, the result is very tragic, right? Which impacts everyone around them, their families, and so it's really about cultural stigma, intergenerational trauma, systemic neglect, right? Like these are all things that we deal with in the Black community, and I think it's a great film, and I think that having the opportunity to highlight this again from another lens, right? But we're trying to show the universality of human emotions here. We're trying to build empathy for our fellow human when we show documentaries like this, and it's so important. It's not that these stories aren't being told; it's just that sometimes they're not being shared as widely as they could be. So when our partners bring something to us like this, we're always listening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, check that out. I could say a lot more on that issue, but yeah, Paul, you kind of jumped it. I did want to talk also about this jazz situation, Paul. If I'm not mistaken,
No,
you're a part
no,
of that a little
yeah,
bit.
I don't know about that. We gotta have that conversation, but
Oh,
I
okay.
do want to highlight this because what we're doing right now is highlighting. We're in the middle of this Dreamland grand opening weekend right here, Dreamland Lounge, which is a lounge that's over on Ames Street that Katie Rain put together, and she's really about highlighting jazz, highlighting the history of jazz in North Omaha, and paying musicians in order to play some jazz in this day and age. So shout out to her for that. This is going on all weekend long. Tonight is Jazz Bingo, First Friday, Shabaka, Norman Love, live painting and burlesque. It's supposed to be a funky good time tonight. over there at the Dreamland Lounge. And it's got me thinking, because I'm also writing an article about this right now. It's got me thinking about jazz in general in North Omaha, the legacy that's happening, what's going on now, the new players that are coming to Noma, the new event spaces that are popping up. And it's got me going back. I'm thinking about Straight No Chasers that was over at Film Streams just recently with Thelonious Monk. It's got me really thinking about the scene here. So I love that you guys are showing this film, Jazz on a Summer's Day. Tell us a little bit about this, if you will.
Yeah, so Jazz on a Summer's Day is, sort of the pivotal music movie, right? Like it influenced like everything that came after it. It filmed at the 1958 Newport Jazz Festival. It has footage, like live footage on stage of like all the greats: Louis Armstrong, Thelonious Monk, Jerry Sullivan, Anita O'Day, Chuck Berry, Dinah Washington, Mahalia Jackson. And you're also getting like these behind the scenes footage of like people in the crowd. And it's an interracial mixed crowd, which is really interesting. And but you also get these amazing, beautiful jazz performances, and the scenes are amazing, right? Like they feel very modern in my mind, like the shots that the director chose to take. Bert Stern is the photographer who became the cinematographer director on the film. And I was super excited to be like, should we ask Paul B. Allen to come and do the intro for this movie? Because I know he loves it.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't. We hadn't confirmed it, but I appreciate that. I absolutely would love to come do that for sure.
Yay!
Yeah, it's a like it's a resurgence right now a little bit. I feel like of what's going on with jazz. For a big period of time, we have been us in particular, me and Buddy have been diving into the new jazz scene.
Man,
What's going on with Blue Note right now? Terrace Martin, all the guys, Robert Glasper, all the guys that are on the forefront of
Robert Glasper.
exactly. So we've been trying to get Omaha up to speed on that stuff.
Man,
That's probably about 4 or 5 years. But then it felt refreshing to kind of get to a point where we can look back and look at the legacy. Shout out to Dreamland Lounge leading the charge on this legacy of jazz in North Omaha, especially, and what went on there. So to be able to check out a film like this, and also, like I said, the Thelonious Monk film Straight No Chaser really put me in that mode when you guys had that last time. So
Yeah.
It's put me in the mode again to kind of reach back and remember what kind of art form that we're talking about here, what kind of masterful art form that we're talking about, world class art form that Black folks put together, and that the legacy lives on. And I'm very excited that this is also playing. You guys really, I feel like you guys are always putting something out like Straight No Chaser, Jazz on a Summer's Day. Really digging into the arts a lot of times, especially when it comes to music arts, especially when it comes to Black folks creating the musical arts. There's always a film. There's always something that you guys are showcasing there at Film Stream. So I just think it's another really important conversation, to have when it comes to those things as well. So I really appreciate that you guys are showing this film. I can't wait to be a part of it.
Thank you. I mean, as you're talking about, like Omaha, North Omaha specifically, is like steeped in artistic integrity and has such a deep, rich jazz culture, and it's just not widely talked about, not widely known, which is a shame, because there are some great artists who over the last 120 years have come out of Omaha.
man,
True.
legends.
Yeah.
Legends.
Legends.
Buddy be sitting at the studio in Atlanta, like looking at records, like he's from Omaha, and hipping those guys to it, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some legends. Anything coming up that you're interested, that you're excited about seeing, just because you like the film coming? Which I mean, all of them probably, but
all of them, yeah. But the thing I'm kind of itching to get to, and I just like I said, I was out of town last weekend, and so I came back. I'm like, hit the ground running. The Christophers. I think the Christophers looks really, really good, and I think I didn't know what I thought of it the first trailer I saw, and then I saw the extended preview trailer, like that shows before the films, and I was like, whoa, this is totally different than what I thought it was. And the acting looks phenomenal. So come see the Christophers. I don't know how much longer it's with us, but People have been really responding well to it.
I haven't seen that one.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah, I didn't catch that. We just talking about the May films. We're missing so much. Also, I'm seeing it. Ali Peeler in the chat. Film streams curate such great work. The Amy Goodman film looks good too. Are
Yes.
oh,
Okay.
y'all doing a Democracy Now
We
documentary yet?
are. We're playing Steal This Story, Please. Should have talked about that. We should have updated you
Should
all.
have led that, man. Dang.
Well, there's so much happening. There's so many things
Right.
happening all the time. So yeah, we are playing Steal This Story, Please. We're gonna. I think it's a 2-week run. Also, I can confirm if anybody doesn't know, I Love Boosters is coming to us. We will be playing that, FYI. And then yes, and then Steal the Story, Please is coming, which is going to be super great. And there's another thing that I thought was really good. I got excited for a brief moment, and then my brain turned off.
Uh-oh. Got too excited.
Friday morning brain.
I'm seeing this the Christopher's here. I didn't know Homegirl was in this. This
Yeah.
is okay. Yeah. We
Okay,
got more
I'm gonna have to look
more
into
to
that.
dig into. We got more to dig
Yeah.
into here on that for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but thanks for that, Ali.
Oh no. We just have so much stuff coming up. And I should know all this. I work with all the people who make sure it happens. But like we're just nonstop rolling, and it feels really good. And we're trying to work with as many community partners as we can. We're trying to like increase the space for people to have those conversations after the film. Like Lola's is a big part of that. Like, come in early, get a cup of coffee before the movie, stay afterwards, chat with some people, like hang out in the lobby, have another popcorn. It's not going to hurt you.
And that's at the Dundee Theater. You're talking about Lola's the restaurant.
Lola's is at our Dundee Theater, yeah.
Ruth Sokoloff, though, over there at Ruth Sokoloff, I mean, they got drinks and stuff. I come and sit and hang in the lobby over there.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm talking about, right? Like it's a great opportunity. I love just sort of sitting in the corner and watching people walk out of a movie and watching people start talking to each other about it. Like it's a pretty magical thing to see two strangers talk.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
What
One more
about?
question. Marlon here is asking about Silent War. Is there a panel that's going to be here?
Yes, there is a panel, and I think we are waiting on final confirmation from the Asian American Pacific Islander group that we're working with on that. So they are going to be, I believe, primarily individuals who are from UNMC who are part of that resource group.
Okay. Very cool. I got one more question about that night. Is there going to be island food available in the lobby or something like that? You guys are catering this?
For Silent War, I'm not sure that we
Probably
are.
not. I'm just wishing.
You're just wishing that there would be food. We too always wish there's food, but we also have a steady diet of popcorn here. Like at 2:00 when the popcorn machine starts going, it's like everybody descends downstairs to get popcorn. Like I always have popcorn at home. Like I didn't know what to do with myself this weekend without Film Streams popcorn. It was weird. I came back on Tuesday and I was like, I gotta get popcorn.
I tell you what, I live on popcorn, Milk Duds, and cherry Coke because I'm a movie guy for real.
Man.
Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I love that we get to make you cry just about every time you come on. So, but that's because of those great films that you're with us, and they're amazing, and you're amazing. You're one of my favorite people in Omaha.
Thank you so much.
So, yeah, good talking to you. We'll see you soon.
Bye, buddy. Bye, Paul. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good one. Peace. All right.
There you go.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, man. I just I knew it was coming. And I knew that we needed to talk about it.
Bro.
Steal the Story, Please, with Amy Goodman. You know that Democracy Now! Is we're the ones that brought Democracy Now! To Omaha, Nebraska through Mind and Soul Radio. So they're top of list as far as our sources are concerned. And Amy Goodman is one of my favorite reporters on earth ever.
Man.
And yeah, you got to see. Have you seen the trailer for this? This documentary is incredible.
Bro, so I watch Democracy Now! Every day after the show. Like that's my like
Every day.
Yeah, that's one of the, Amy Goodman's the OG, man. If you don't, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know about Democracy Now!, but if you don't, check it out. It's a good supplement to and it's interesting because usually she's reporting on a story that we've talked about, that we've touched on, that we teed up. I mean, it's a big conversation that we're all a part of and trying to, keep this democracy alive, man. Keep this country, as we understand what it's supposed to be, keep that going. And Amy is definitely a news gang OG, like OG, news gang,
Been doing it for
He been locked
decades.
up behind it and everything.
Yep. OG locked up.
I'm
Straight
saying
up,
news gang.
straight up news game, been locked up and everything, man. OG. I would love to have Amy Goodman on the show one day. That would be freaking ridiculous.
It'd be dope. It'd be dope. But
Let's contemplate that. Let's take a quick break.
in the
We'll come
meantime,
back. Meantime, we'll take a quick break and come back and jump back into the conversation. Got about a half hour left in the show. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being respectful to the guests. Thanks for chiming in with the great questions. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
in the morning,
We're going right near the beach. My name is
Hey.
Paul B's buddy to God.
don't touch net.
That's nothing.
We're turning up the heat for Omaha Freedom Festival's night concert with Carrie Hilson, Life Jennings, and R&B superstar and Grammy-nominated Nivea, hosted by Josh Jones and music by DJ Chang. Don't miss one of the biggest R&B nights Omaha has ever seen. Join us Saturday, June 13th at Gene Leahy Mall Pavilion. Doors open at 7 p.m. Concert starts at 8:30 with fireworks after. Tickets at OmahaFreedomFestival.com or in person at LaFleur's New Look Fashion. Celebrate culture, music, and community at the Omaha Freedom Festival.
Welcome back. We'll be giving away some VIP tickets to that Freedom Festival coming up. So put that on your calendar, June 13th. Get ready for the Freedom Festival coming through. Shout out to Freedomtainment. We're going to have our brother Calvin on pretty soon here, too, to talk about the stuff he got coming up this summer. Lots of good stuff happening with Freedomtainment, as always. So shout out to him for that. And you'll be looking for the contest coming up. Also be looking for the weekly wrap that's dropping today. It drops on every Friday at 4 o'clock, and we'll be dropping the weekly wrap. That's our newsletter. There'll be some surveys and things inside the newsletter. We'd love for you to tap into and answer a few questions for us so we can kind of get a sense of the direction that we have to go on this show and beyond. And so we really appreciate that very much. If you have not signed up for the weekly wrap, I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the chat for you to be able to do that now. Give us an email address. That'll be a really good way for us to really stay in contact with each other as well. So shout out to everybody that is already receiving the weekly wrap. If you have not, please hit that link and go ahead and do so. We really appreciate it if you did that. Don't forget, we have what's going on here? We got so much stuff going on all the time. What we got up here? Yeah, lost it. We'll come back to it. Yep. There's so much going on today. This is the event that I was looking for here. May Day. This is also happening.
Oh yeah.
Today. This is one we've been talking about for a few weeks, man. I almost forgot about it. It's going down Friday, May 1st. Benson Theater. This is happening May Day. Fight the patriarchy. Music, art auction, comedy, and community. There's going to be a whole bunch of people on deck. I would go just to see Jay Crumb myself, but just
Man.
But there's so many people, man. Frankie Charo, Hector Anchondo. I'm seeing Friends of First Guy Omaha everywhere. Hosted by Bofield Berry, the OG.
Hey.
Yeah.
Really quickly on the J. Crumb tip, I think brother is moving to New York pretty soon. So
What?
yeah, he said he's moving. So again, if you know about J. Crumb, even if you don't know about J. Crumb, this might be your last opportunity for a while to see the brother, get down.
There it is. There's also an art auction that's happening today at the theater here for this May Day. And I'm looking at these names, man. These are some of my favorite artists of all time. Sarah Rowe, Bart Vargas, Sky Ree, the homie Sky Ree's. So everybody, there's a lot of people out here showing their art and art auctions, selling their art. Go buy some art, man. That's the thing to do on First Friday. Go buy some art. Invest in some of these artists. because you never know what happened to them. You might be sitting there on some serious loot later on down the line when they blow up. You never know.
Hey, man.
Yeah, but support them now. You can join the movement. There's a QR code there. We'll put this on Friends of First Guy Omaha. Definitely check it out. If you're going to be in and around Benson tonight for Benson First Friday anyway, go ahead and stop on into the Benson Theater, man, and get busy. It seems to be where the hub is right now, where everything is happening.
Man.
Benson Theater tonight at 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. They'll be there all night. Go check them out. Yep.
Man.
Right on, man. Everybody is talking to everybody in the chat. I'm seeing love PBS. Same here. Ariel's 402 for sure. Also, RG says the Ruth is where it's at. That's where the cool kids go. That's right. Ruth Sokoloff Theater film streams in the house. Appreciate that very much. And thanks for the questions, Marlon. That was a great question. I didn't know if they had a panel there too. I was wondering about that. Ariel says, put hashtag democracy now in your description of the video. Absolutely will. Thank you. Sean McCarthy in the chat is saying Saturday Haps Tracy Schatt is hosting a spoken word poet gathering at the Harvester Lofts in Council Bluffs on Saturday. Thanks for letting us know, man. Shout out to Tracy Schatt, man, friend of the First Guy family for real. She's First Guy fan for real. I'm glad that she's doing some things, hosting a spoken word poet gathering. You know, if Tracy Schatt's gathering the poets, they're gonna be some heavy hitters.
Man, give me some heads.
Give me some heads out there for that. Shout out, man. Harvester at Council Bluffs too. If you haven't been there, go check it out. It's not too far from Omaha, and it's a pretty dope space. Really like.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you've been over there. Pretty good, pretty dope space.
It is, man. I mean, I wish we had more living artist spaces like that. It's like artists live in the building, and then you got places in the building you can do stuff and hold events. It's dope. Yep.
Check it out.
We need it. We need more of that. So 8:31 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. Again, thanks for everybody who's joined us today. If you missed any parts of the interview that we had with Amanda Kephart, please go back to YouTube and check it out in its entirety. And any of the shows, any past shows, you can go to YouTube and go check them out. Like and subscribe when you get over there if you would. And we're going to be working on doing a lot of summing up of some of the shows that we got going on, because these threads, man, they're too good to not pull together. And bring something concise to the table here. Thanks to you. Thanks to the chat chimers.
Yeah.
People that are involved here. So that's what it's about.
It's an ongoing conversation. Speaking of ongoing conversation and tying some threads, it's all right. We get back to it.
Yes, sir.
Back to a couple other things here in this last 30 minutes or so of the show. Again, big shout out to everybody who's tuned in with us right now. Still, especially here in the second hour. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. I did want to reiterate a couple things before we get out of here, as today is, a couple of deadlines. Not just, again, the last day to register to vote. So, again, if you're just now tuning in, and you haven't registered to vote, get on down. At this moment, it is too late. I think the 27th was the last day to register by mail. So, as of right now, you have to go to your voting precinct or your commission offices. But, ain't no if. Let's get it done. Today is the last day to register to vote in person. And also, as you see on your screen, is the deadline for what does it say?
Early voting ballots to be requested by mail.
Thank you. That small print.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yes, if you're planning to again vote early, which some Friends of First Guy has, shout out to Black Connie on Friends of First Guy, letting people know what's going on with her. And I think actually that is something that Paul, you and I talked about, kind of putting out the question, putting out the filler. What are all of you doing? Have some of you voted? I think Sister Kimra said that she might actually wait to go in person, if I'm not mistaken, or let us know what you're doing. Are you voting early? Are you waiting to go in person? What's your strategy as far as making this happen, especially in light of the SAVE Act and the Real ID and all the nonsense that's going on? And now, I guess, with this voting rights situation, I guess it'd be a good time to hop into that. Again, shout out to IB Black Girl for breaking it down for us, kind of Reader's Digest version on Facebook. If you haven't seen that, you can catch it on Friends of First Guy Omaha on Facebook. But yeah, man, landmark decision. Actually, speaking of tying up threads, just to see this thread kind of develop over the week, it's quite interesting. Again, on Monday, towards the end of the show, I shared some thoughts, some things I was pondering on over the weekend. The fact that, again, Trump, really all presidents but Obama were born during Jim Crow. Like they were raised and not only born, but grew up, went to high school, went on dates, got jobs during Jim Crow.
You're like, Donald, there's 50 states. There's only 48.
Ah man, trying to take us back, and effectively that is what this country is doing, taking us backwards several steps. And again, this latest Supreme Court decision, which to your point, Paul, is quite interesting. You always say it's not just Trump. Like Trump is just a symptom of a larger issue that we're dealing with in this country, and it's not just Trump. It's Congress. Who apparently elected to continue the shutdown with Homeland Security. That's going to continue because the GOP shutting things down as far as negotiations there. Trump and his administration just showing a masterful level of incompetency, if you ask me, with that with that administration, and man, all the way down to anyway. And then now with the Supreme Court in their latest decision, pretty much gutting Voting Rights Act. Yeah, can you pull up that graphic again? Just kind of break down what this means. We keep saying it, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen the news. But what exactly does the decision mean? Again, shout out to Ivy Black Girl for dropping this, and kind of flexing that 501c4 that sister Kimra, or not Kimra, but Ashley Spivey just put together.
You talking about Senator Ashley Spivey? Put some
There
respect.
you go. There you go. Put some respect on her name. But yeah, man, breaking it down, what does this mean? Again, the U.S. Supreme Court gutted voting rights, meaning that the Supreme Court has issued a ruling striking down Louisiana's congressional map and stripping away Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which again is connected, of course, to Trump's call. I'm in one of the states that Trump personally reached out here in Georgia saying, hey, find me some votes. Make it happen. Redistrict. Make it happen. Find the votes. And that's what several states are doing. And again, there has been some legal challenge to some of that. And, some states trying to do their own thing, Virginia being the latest. And yet, here we are with the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, making this decision, meaning now that states are free to create new congressional district maps, which are not representative of the diverse populations, Black and brown people who live there. This decision could see the loss of nearly half of Black majority state legislative districts in the South and 19 congressional seats, which really is quite interesting because this also wraps up a conversation we've been having here on the show over the last couple of weeks about the blue dot.
Mm.
And what is the importance and securing the blue dot, and what does that actually mean? I want to echo what Senators Terrell McKinney and Ashley Spivey said when we spoke to them in our last Senator Cipher in regards to the blue dot. It hasn't stopped anything. The blue dot hasn't changed anything. In reality, the blue dot is just kind of a comfort blanket for liberals to say, hey, I'm on the right side.
Mm.
I'm one of the good ones.
That's a heavy statement. That's a heavy statement. We definitely have to dig. We got to dive into that one.
What say you? We here in the second hour?
No, I mean not right this second. I'm just saying we got to dive into that one. Shout out to Senator Ashley Spivey who put that out there. We've been vibing off of that thing that she had to say there, and we've been thinking about it and putting some more thoughts and some more research on that. And yeah, we kind of got to get to a point where we got to talk about it a little bit because that's been the driving force for a lot. But in this Voting Rights Act, being the situation with the Voting Rights Act is definitely something that is bringing some of this stuff to light. And also what just happened in Virginia recently too, where they won, the Democrats won some areas, and the way that the vitriol that came out of the Oval Office on that one was pretty incredible. Act like it was illegal and everything. So for this to happen and to get to this point it's just kind of, it's really crazy. And you're right. It's not just Trump. It's Congress. What you hear what Clarence Thomas had to say, like it. Yeah, man. It's a mess.
Yeah, but if you pay attention, it's par for the course for America. It's par for the course. Anytime we make strides, and as Black folk, so-called Black folk in this country, anytime we make a strive, here comes the nonsense. We got Emancipation Proclamation and got so-called free from slavery, and here comes Jim Crow and the nadir. we fought through that, and we got civil rights, and we had our movement, and we got the Civil Rights Voting Act. Next thing you know, here comes 60 years of heroin in the 70s, crack in the 80s. Now we got whatever other drug they're trying to push in our communities. It doesn't stop.
For those of you that need a little bit more context, shout out to IB Black Girl for this. The Voting Rights Act of 65 is one of the most successful civil rights measures in history. The Voting Rights Act was a tool meant to undo the political hold of Jim Crow policies in the South. Congress passed the law to ensure states follow the 15th Amendment, guarantee that the right to vote could not be denied because of race. How are we backwards from this? It's crazy. The impact is major. The impact of the decisions made by the Supreme Court means that a black girl born today has fewer rights than a black woman who was born in 1980. For nearly 10 years, here's what's next. IB Black Girl has been imagining and building a world where black women, femmes, and girls can live wholly through organizing and civic engagement. This work has been supported by people like you who know that when we dream big, we can achieve. So donate today. Yeah, be a part of IB Black Girls donation. Make that a part of your donation set of places that you give to, because they definitely need it. But yeah, shout out to them for breaking some of this down. It was definitely one of those situations where it was so big. I go, what does this actually mean? when it went down, we were like, it was already a problem getting folks to the polls. What does this really mean now for that? And we got to go back and understand what it was then, why the law got passed then, and just the attack, man. To me, it's like I was so focused on you got to have an ID, you got to do all these things that you got to do now in order to get there, which is already tough. And then it felt like a blind side, like something that's been in stone for decades.
But here we are, and of course, shout out to IB Black Girl. You got to know that this disproportionately impacts women, because that's who really got the right to vote with that act. I mean, men could really always vote. It was the women that were marginalized with their voices, which is interesting when you think about the layoffs and the changes to nursing as a profession, not being viewed in the same light, not getting the same support financially. It does seem like, and also, I'm not surprised that we got here speaking of women, because just in the last Trump iteration, we had Roe v. Wade repealed. So again, like, this has been a long road that we've been on, and we've been on this road for a while. This isn't, some Johnny come lately. This is where the country has been going, and it's not going. The train isn't going to just stop.
It's a pendulum. We're on a pendulum swing again. It's all the way back to the 50s. It's all the way back to the 40s.
I'm trying to say, man. Like, even down to us having conflict with Cuba and a proxy Cold War with Russia. The 50s. Even down to the threat of nuclear war. Like, the 50s. Do we need to start going under desks again? Like, what? It's mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling how much in the past they're bringing us, while at the same time the rest of the world is trying to go into the future, especially in energy. Like, even that, they're talking about breaking us to nuclear energy and like, bro, so many ways they're taking us backwards. So many ways.
And at the same time, they're taking us backwards. They're also making things worse. At the same time, gas is $5 a gallon.
Man. Take us back to the 10-cent gas. If you're gonna take us back,
let's go back. Let's go back then, man. But that. So anyway, I appreciate that. RG in the chat said, just shows how extra mad that Trump lost the 2020 election. Yeah, just doing stuff. He said Trump believes he is the best at everything. He is absolutely right when it comes to the incompetence and grifting. He is in a league of his own.
Masterful.
If people don't see that, if people don't see it by now that saw it, I think that people, a lot of people that voted did not think it was going to get this bad for them.
Oh yeah. You see the ranchers and the farmers finally starting to chime up like, what we doing?
Right. Tony Johnson says also shows how unconcerned people are with current political system. I don't know how you can be unconcerned with what's happening here. Marlon Harrison says, let's not forget that they are black women the right to vote with them bringing their birth certificate. That was the other thing too, is something that just changed, because you had to, if your name was different than your birth certificate, which married women's names are,
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
you were
that was
having a hard time proving who you were with that ID to be able to even vote.
That was the main thing for the Save Act, like one of the main features of it.
Yeah. Appreciate your comments. 8:45 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're a believer in that, and you live by that, we know that you are in and out today, and getting kids to school, getting to work. So we appreciate the times that you come in and out. So you can see the whole show in its entirety later on in the daytime if you want to. That's why we leave it up on YouTube. Definitely check it out over there. Also, remember with all the stuff that's going on this weekend, remember this is also the weekend that Berkshire Hathaway meeting is happening as well. This will be the first, I believe it's the first meeting with the new guy. So a lot of people are talking about making sure they get to this. And I only bring it up because Greg Abel is the new guy's name. Berkshire Hathaway. Just remember how full the streets get and how full the hotel rooms get. We already got downtown traffic acting a fool all the time. We got the rail system coming in around 10th Street, and just down the street on 10th Street where it's all blocked off, you can't get to. CHI is going to be full of folks. So just keep it in mind when you're out and about doing things that this is happening as well. It's going to be a lot of traffic in the city. Drive safe, be safe, and take care of yourselves for sure. Yep. Pops in the chat says he is swinging before the 50s. He wants a return to the antebellum South in the 1800s.
Man,
he said that that was the time period he feels America was great. That's crazy. Craziness. Tony Johnson says, as soon as this started, the guys in the family made sure everybody had all correct documents they needed for this.
Man, develop a plan. You gotta come up with something.
Gotta have a plan. That's really real. Appreciate that. Right on. We got about 15 minutes left in the show, buddy. How you want to wrap the show up today?
Yeah, kind of reiterating, I don't really think I got into the Medicaid requirements exactly what they are, because that's impacting a lot of people starting today. Again, heads up, in Nebraska, under the change, many Medicaid participants ages 19 through 64 will have to show that they work or do community service at least 80 hours a month, or are enrolled in school at least half time. They'll also have eligibility reviewed every 6 months rather than annually. So they could lose coverage faster if their circumstances change. And, given the job market, especially, shout out to Sean McCarthy, who kind of showcased that for us, what the job market is looking like. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough for folks, especially we talking about, black women being impacted. Again, the mass numbers of layoffs for black women, especially in the medical field. Very interesting how this is shaking out. But again, just a heads up, expecting thousands and thousands of Nebraskans to be impacted. And really, this is something that's going to be taking place federal. It's just Nebraska jumping the gun. Old Trump Jr. doing his thing, jumping the gun 8 months before this sweeps across the nation. But here we are. Get prepared for it. I'm sure many of you are relying on Medicaid out there because health insurance is expensive.
Many of us are absolutely leaning on that. So this is heavy. Anytime I see this name, Department of Health and Human Services, I think of what Senator McKinney has to say about that organization. I'm thinking these are the ones. And it also makes me. I'm glad you brought up this thing where he jumped the gun 8 months before it needed to be done, because that brings me to the 6 to dismiss.
Man,
there is a governor's race going on. Somebody said Lynn Walsh was in North Omaha, and they didn't know that. Lynn Walsh has been all over the place, North Omaha and beyond. Right now, she's the main person running against Pillen. Shout out to Precious McKesson with the 6 to dismiss. Governor Jim Pillen's on the top of the list. It is the season to vote for a new governor, and I gotta say, man, in the beginning, I couldn't really picture anybody that was worse than what Ricketts was doing, and in the beginning, Pillen didn't seem like he was going to be that, and it turned, and to me, it just gets harder and harder to reconcile where he's coming from. They really feel like people who need help need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. So glad she brought that phrase up and talked about how impossible that even is, how
Man,
ridiculous of a statement it even is. Uh, as if we don't live in a society and we're not human beings that need help from other people. It just is ridiculous to even think that you should make it harder. And somebody in the chat too, we didn't get to this earlier, but I think it was I can't remember who said it in the chat earlier, but this is going to directly affect houseless people.
hmm
This Medicaid situation is going to mean that they're not going to have it, and how much worse is it going to be if they can't get some things taken care of medically, with also being in that situation. So it almost feels like any opportunity they have to make things worse for people that already got it bad. War on the poor.
man. Which is, why we push this in this last 10 minutes or so, why we push this line of solidarity and mutual aid and what we can do to come together to help each other through the situation, because that's possible. That is also an option. We don't, necessarily have to just deal with all the things we're dealing with. Shout out to Tony Johnson kind of giving some options in the face of this. He says who can sign off on volunteer hours. He says we have more than enough nonprofits and churches in our community. I think shout out to Miss Erica Felt, Miss E's Play School. She did also, suggest that she needs volunteers at her child care facility, and suggested for anybody who needs volunteer hours to check out for that, because she does qualify for this. But at this point, not only having to get creative on jobs and volunteer hours and how to make sure we're qualifying for the things that we actually need, having to jump through more hoops, but building systems that don't necessarily require Medicaid. How can we build a system like the Black Panthers did, where you come into the community and you get the resources that you need, and you're not getting turned away from life-saving surgeries because you don't have insurance.
Incredible.
How can we actually really create these systems? Shout out to Dr. Phillips and what she's doing with the Identity Prep Academy, and looking at the school systems and not having, building our own school systems so we don't have to worry about the ilk of Pillen, threatening to take funding from schools because of the quote unquote woke disease that he calls. And, all of these politics that really at the end of the day impacts all of our lives. Politics that really at the end of the day have nothing to do with our lives.
Yeah.
It's your personal feelings. Whether your religious beliefs has nothing to do with people's ability to eat. At least it shouldn't.
Yeah. Yep. Bottom line, I think we know this. It really is just like it really is. To reiterate where they're coming from. Even like Pops is the chat saying, "Yep, they live this kick them while they're down mentality." We know that. We know this. So our ability to not be down is going to have to move past whether or not we're being kicked by them. We have to get together and do what we got to do. So that's where that comes into play for me and for us. There's a lot of different lanes to do that. Whichever one you feel like is part of that. The coalition building for mutual aid, so that we can kind of help each other on a direct level, or even the people that are understand the politics, understand the strategies that are in the political power lane, that need to that are the ones telling us this is go vote, go do this, go do that, because that can make some change and difference there too. We kind of need to do it all at once. It's we always come back to that. We always come back to each lane needs to be traveling the same direction together, and that's how we got it. That's the only way we're gonna be able to overcome it.
Actually reminded me of something that Senator Spivey said that was quite kind of interesting. I haven't really thought about it, but she mentioned separating. Like she says, we need to take politics out of public service.
Ooh, yeah.
And that really kind of resonated what she said, and it's been ringing in my mind, because a lot of times when you think of, and because at the end of the day, that's really what we're talking about. Yeah. We're picking people to serve the public. We're talking about public service. And a lot of times we think politics and public service are synonymous, when, sometimes they are, but do they have to be? And what is the difference between what is the politics in public service? Is it really just all of these personal feelings and opinions about what people need, in paternalism at the end of the day, about what people need to be doing? rather than listening to what people tell you they need and just doing that and serving them.
I just saw a documentary about a program where some women were given a certain amount of money with no questions asked, with the thought process that you're grown and you can figure out what you need to do with this money, and how much more they thrived. And they said they got it from all sides. People were calling them, well, what if they use it on drugs? Well, what if they use it for this? What if they use it for that? Listen, most people are out here struggling. They're going to pay what they need to pay to do what they need to do. Eat first, keep electricity on, so on and so forth. You're not going to get in a situation where if I think the age range was, if you're 18 and you have kids and you're struggling, here's some money. Figure out what to do with it for yourself. Such a crazy thought to think that grown people know what to do, know what they need better than you need to tell them what they need. Like it's incredible to me. Use some of these tax dollars everybody's paying and giving people some money to live, like to do what they need to do. This is what we want with our tax dollars. That's what we want. Anthony Rogers right in the chat says, I think we've arrived at the point when more people are going to realize, as Kwame Ture says decades ago, elections are not going to save us. No colonized people from Africa to Asia to the Middle East voted out oppression. They did what they had to do to get it out. There you go. This is very true. We have several lanes that we talk about here. One of them is political power. That is just part of it. It's not going to save us. We got to put it with everything else that there is out there in order to take care of what we got to take care of, because we're really dealing with some evil mess, man. It's really evil. It's really evil just to disregard whole swaths of people. We're really dealing with folks that want to exterminate whole. What did you just say about Iran? Whole
civilizations, like whole civilizations. He said they're gonna be gone.
How you gonna work with that? Kind of want to stop it short here. We got about 4 minutes left in the show. We appreciate everybody who is jumping on this and following us here where we're at in this point of the discussion today. But I do want to remember that it's Love Supreme Friday. I do want to remember that. I want to remember that we are here to also remember the good stuff and be appreciative about the stuff that we have. Be appreciative of each other in this fight, and know that we're fighting together. And I want to give a chance for you to put in the chat what you got going on this weekend. How are you going to live alive with one another? If you don't catch the chat, then go ahead and put it in, like Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page. Just love to hear about it. There's all kinds of good stuff that are happening. We already went through a lot of it. I wanted to showcase Candace Price over here. She posted this Claire Memorial First Friday fish fries going down to 11 to 2, 4 to 7, $20 donation. Fried catfish, homemade lemon cake. Come on with it. Shout out to her. This is at Claire Memorial, UMC 554 Ames Avenue. More stuff going on Ames. Skip McDonald's today. Go down here and get you some fish from the fish.
Actually, also speaking of Claire, shout out to Pastor P. She just had a write up in Omaha Magazine, man. Yeah, pretty interesting. Shout out to Pastor P, Pastor Portia Cabot, getting down.
Shout out to Omaha Magazine.
Yeah,
getting busier than they were before. Also, Clarice Dombeck tells us there's a free seed potatoes that are being given away here. This is City Sprouts. Clarice Dombeck, shout out to her for putting this out there. You know that she's all about the urban farming in a big way, so she's letting us know. I've forgotten that there was even such a thing as seed potatoes.
Come on, man. Put the potato in the ground, get more potatoes.
Crush the potatoes up, make some vodka. No, I'm just playing.
No, whoa.
Hey, I know some families that do it. So
hey. It says Omaha.
Well, no, they're in Russia, but yeah, here too. Wanda Lewis in the chat says, "Don't forget the Hispanics thought they were voting for their best interest." I don't know about all the there's we got some allies. There's some people that everybody thinks they're voting in their best interest, and that's something. I'm glad you said that though, because that's very important. Everybody, I hear a lot, especially on our show and from our folks. Why do these folks vote against their best interest? And I think we got that wrong. They voted for they thought they were getting something that nobody else was going to be able to get. I think that they were voting for their you got to understand what they're interested in.
That part, what their interests are.
And their interests are not, it's not economic motivator. It's they want to put other folks down. They want to be above other people. They want to be the ones that are all about uh, receiving all the benefits, which in their minds means taking them away from somebody else.
Mm.
It's a real revolutionary thought to think that we can all benefit. It really is dog eat dog. If you
Oh yeah.
got it, that means I ain't got it. If I ain't got it, that means you can't have it. You know, it's ridiculous. So, what is their motivators? And that might tell you something about why they vote like they vote. That's going to tell you something about why we vote like we vote. What's the motivator? What do we want out of the situation? That's the motivator. I would love to put my money behind somebody who helps us do for ourselves. Puts a situation in place where it's easier for us to do for ourselves more. Some people want to vote for people who are going to do something for them, do everything for them. So, you got to examine it while we're in this season right now, while we're in this election season. Examine not just the candidates and whether or not they agree with you on stuff, but like, what's your motivation for what do you need out of government? What do you want?
That's his question. What are we doing? Like, what is the point? What is the point? What are we doing?
RG, it really is paternalism. I got a mama and a daddy. I don't need no more parents. Leave me alone. Let me figure out exactly what it is that I need, because I can do that. And I will take care of that. Don't hinder me. Just stay out of the way. Pop says, yes, for all of them, it's a zero-sum game. Anything you have takes away from what they have. Hot mess. It's 9:01 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, again, just remember that this is Love Supreme Friday, and that what we really love to do is get out and enjoy this nice weather this weekend, live some life so that we can justify all the fighting that we got to do for it, and and live alive with one another, be together.
Man, that's it. That's it. Remember that heaven is a state of mind, y'all. Heaven is a state of mind. And so is hell. We create our own. So again, keep that in mind. Live alive with one another. Enjoy, this weekend, and catch us on Monday. Same time, same place. Right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning, Paul.
In the morning.
Hey. Get well soon to you, brother. I know you're still dealing with, under the weather a little bit.
A little bit.
And big shout out to Amanda Kephart and the whole team at Film Streams. Thank you for taking the time to come speak with us today. Enjoy the conversation. As always, sorry, not necessarily sorry. We do what we do. That's why we get paid the big bucks. No, we don't. But that's why we do what we do. As far as again, yeah. As far as just getting people to cry and get mad and show emotion, because we're human. We're here to have a human conversation, human experience, and we thank all of you for doing it with us, man. So yeah. Well, in the meantime, between time,
it's the movies that make her cry, but it's our show that allows her to do so safely.
Yeah.
And I appreciate her. Like I said, she's one of my favorite people. I appreciate that. I really appreciate people that feel something these days.
Man, something.
Anything.
What you got for him?
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Pop says, thanks for a wonderful week of shows. Even in a week of illness and exhaustion, you guys delivered. We love and appreciate you. Get some rest and have a great weekend. See you Monday. Appreciate you, Pops. Thank you. RG says, it's worth repeating for my post in Friends of Urban Survival Club hike on Saturday at 12:30. Man, I knew I was forgetting
Sunday.
Something. Thank you. Oh, Sunday. I knew I was forgetting something. I appreciate you, RG. Sunday,
yes.
Urban Survival Club. Check them out. Look them up. Go on the hike. Check it out, man. 12:30. Can they get a hold of you, RG, for some information there? Or I guess Urban Survival Club also has their Facebook page. You can check in with them too, and check in with Brother Kasim. So yeah, Urban Survival Club hike on Sunday, 12:30. Appreciate that. And Wanda, you bringing this? She said, "Ice also lab grown meat." Imagine that. Or the world we live in, for real.
Oh, the farmers. Yeah, she said the farmers thought the same. It all backfired as far as voting in their best interest. Yeah.
They thought they would get something, didn't get it. You played yourself. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you played yourself. But RG, man, speaking of playing yourself, so you gonna have leg day on Saturday and then go for a hike on Sundays?
Congratulations.
Hey.
Maybe he got Monday off. He can recover. Who knows?
There you go. Whatever you do, man, enjoy your weekend.
One more hap. Friday Night Live is going down. Shout out to DJ Reggie C. Shout out to Kiera Marshall. This is going down. Shout out to 95.7 The Boss.
Hey.
And Reggie C is the Beat Show. Shout out to him. It's going to be at the Garden Planet Farms Boutique location, 1207 Harney Street, 8 to 11. Food, drink, specials all night. So that's what's up. Shout out to DJ Reggie C. putting it down with Friday Night Live. And everybody involved with this one. There's plenty of things to go out there. We'll put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We'll also put it in the newsletter that we're dropping today at 4 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. Go ahead and get going now because the voice is going. So right on. Shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. Shout out to the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Really appreciate that very much. We appreciate you guys letting us do this and also supporting us doing this as well. You can go to firstsky.omaha.com and hit the join button and be like the $20 people, the $50 people, the $10 people, everybody who's been reoccurring donation to us in order for us to keep this going. We definitely need more. If you want to do business with us as well, hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail. We can do some advertising with you. You see there's a lot of ads that are happening now during the show and on our social media. And that's because people are hitting us up. They're supporting what we're doing, and they want to talk to you, our audience. They think that we have an intelligent, well-informed audience, and that's you, ghost listeners, chat chimers. So when people hit us up to do ads, first we decide whether or not we are down with them and want to do their ad. And if we are, we do the ad. And because we know we opening that up to you, our listeners, our constituents here. So we appreciate that. Please pay attention to them, and please definitely patronize them as well. If you see an ad on the channel, then definitely hit them up. And if you want to do an ad, hit us up, firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Appreciate you. Heather Williamson, have a great weekend. Please, you do the same. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice out. We're going to handle business. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red